You know that feeling. Trying to keep up with technology with career skills, it feels like it changes every week. One minute it's AI this, next it's quantum that, then data ethics. It's honestly dizzying. And you're left wondering, okay, what skills actually matter long term? And what do some of these job titles even mean in a field like IT that just moves so fast? Well, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place today. We're going to cut through some of that noise and do a deep dive into a really crucial role, but one that's maybe not always clearly understood, the IT bridger.
Our mission here is to, pull back the curtain. Why are these folks so vital? What makes them unique? And maybe most importantly, what does this mean for you? Whether you're planning your career, leading a team, or maybe even designing courses. And we're grounding this whole conversation in some really solid research. There's a big longitudinal study by Kaarst-Brown and Indira Guzman just out in 2023.
Yeah, it was published in the Communications of the Association for Information Systems. Really robust stuff. Exactly. And they tracked IT grads' job placements for 8 years. 8 years. So it's not just a snapshot?
Mm-hmm. Real-world data on market demand.
So think of this deep dive as your shortcut. We want to help you connect the dots on the value of these IT bridgers, maybe spark a few aha moments along the way.
Okay, so let's unpack this first before we even get to the data. Who or maybe what exactly is an IT bridger? It's a term you hear, but it feels a bit fuzzy sometimes.
That's definitely the right place to start. The definition is, well, it's key. To really get it, we should probably look back at some foundational work. Niederman, Farhat, and Truth back in 2016. They came up with this really useful framework, basically categorizing IT jobs based on the required knowledge, skills, and abilities. Let's call them KSAs, yeah.
KSAs, got it. Knowledge, skills, abilities, makes sense.
Right. So within that framework, they mapped out 4 main types of IT pros. First, your technical specialists. These are the folks deep in support, operations, keeping the lights on, essentially, maintaining infrastructure.
Okay, the tech experts. Exactly. Then you have application domain specialists. They're the ones designing, building, extending the actual information system businesses use day to day.
The builders.
Mm-hmm. Third, IT managers.
Mm.
Pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
Leadership, organizing the IT function.
Yep.
And fourth, the ones we're really digging into today, IT bridgers.
Okay, so bridges are the 4th category. They're not just tech, not just management, something else.
Exactly. They're unique because they have this kind of dual skill set. They definitely have strong technical skills. They understand the systems, the code.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is crucial, they also have really strong soft skills. We're
Right.
talking communication, management abilities, project management, change management, that whole side of things.
So it's the blend that makes them different.
It's absolutely the blend. They work inside the IT function, but their main job is to be the liaison, the bridge between the technical teams and the business units.
Mm-hmm.
Finance, marketing, whoever. They kind of, as the study puts it, shelter end users from the details of operationalizing technology.
Oh, I like that phrase, shelter end users. It sounds almost like a diplomatic role, like a translator.
It really is. They take the tech jargon, the complex processes, and translate that into business outcomes, business value. They make sure a new system isn't just technically sound, but that people actually use it effectively without needing to know all the back-end complexity.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Can you give us some actual job titles? Because IT Bridger probably isn't on many business cards.
Huh, probably not. No, the study points to roles like IT project managers. They're managing tech projects, sure, but always with an eye on the business goals.
Right.
Also, business technology analysts. Their whole job is basically speaking both languages, translating needs back and forth. And then, yeah, a lot of IT consulting roles fit perfectly here. Connecting tech solutions to client business problems is, their bread and butter.
Okay, project managers, business analysts, consultants. I can see the pattern there, that connecting function.
And the need for this role, it isn't brand new, but it's definitely become more urgent. People often link it to the 4th era of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Starting late 90s, really accelerating now.
4th era, what defines that?
Think ubiquitous computing tech everywhere. Advanced search, social media, and now, obviously, the huge impact of AI.
So tech isn't just in the IT department anymore.
Exactly. It's woven into everything, every part of the business, customer interactions, strategy. 20 years ago, IT might have been seen as separate, maybe a cost center. Today, for many companies, IT is the business.
Right.
And that complexity, that pervasiveness, it makes that bridger role absolutely essential. Someone has to translate, integrate, make sure the tech actually serves the real goals. It's way beyond a simple help desk function now.
Okay, so we have a clear picture. IT bridgers are this blend of tech and soft skills, the vital translators, especially crucial now with tech being everywhere. Makes sense intuitively, but intuition isn't always enough. Let's get to the data. Did this big study, almost 2,000 graduates over 8 years, did it actually show this demand? Did the numbers back up the idea that bridgers are really valued out there?
Yeah, that's the core question, isn't it? And the study's answer is, well, pretty resounding. Remember the sample, 1,980 grads from 2010 to 2017 from one specific information school. And that school had three distinct programs.
Hmm.
An undergrad IT in management, UGITM, a master's in IT management, MITM, and a master's in IT,
Hmm.
MIT. So they could compare different educational approaches too.
Right, different focuses.
And yes, the findings strongly support the Niederman framework and the value of bridgers. They could clearly code the jobs for 3,370 of the grads. And get this, 54.2% of them landed in IT bridging roles.
Wait, 54%? Over half.
Over half. 743 graduates specifically in bridging roles. That's more than double the number in any other single category.
Wow, that's huge.
It really is. And it was consistent over the 8 years. This isn't some blip. It strongly suggests that bridgers are, well, fundamental to how IT operates now.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of challenges that old idea that you just need deeper and deeper specialization. Maybe the connector is just as, if not more, critical.
That is staggering. Okay, so over half become bridgers. Does that connect back to the specific degree programs? You mentioned the three different types. Did the ones focusing more on that blend of skills actually produce more bridgers?
Yes, absolutely. The data shows a clear link there, too. The study supports the idea that programs emphasizing that mix of technical and communication or managerial KSAs produced more bridgers.
How so?
Okay, look at the UGITM program. That's the undergrad one that mixed tech with liberal arts, project management, and communication. An average of 58.7% of its grads went into bridging roles.
Almost 60%, okay.
Then the MITM program, the master's, focused on management, communication, data analytics, user focus. 56% of its grads became bridgers. Very similar numbers.
Right, both over half. And the third one, the technical masters.
The MIT program, that was the really deeply technical one. Only 13.8% of its graduates ended up in bridging roles.
13.8, that's a massive difference.
Huge difference. And where did they go? 50%, half of the MIT grads went into technical specialist roles, which, makes perfect sense given the curriculum.
Yeah, lines up perfectly.
So what this tells us is really powerful. It's not just a general IT boom. There's a specific growing need for people who can do that translation work between tech and business. And some programs are clearly hitting that mark really effectively.
It definitely suggests that if you want to be a bridger, picking the right kind of program matters. And for educators, it's a clear signal from the market.
Exactly. It's about cultivating that dual fluency.
Okay, this is incredibly insightful. The link between the curriculum and where people land. But hang on. Couldn't you argue, maybe, that this was just a period where all IT jobs were hot, everyone was getting hired quickly? Does the data tell us anything about the urgency of hiring? Were bridgers just part of a general rush, or were employers snapping them up even faster?
That's a really good question. High demand doesn't always mean urgent hiring, right? The study tackled this in a clever way. They used the timing of when graduates accepted their jobs as a proxy for urgency.
How did they track that?
They looked at whether the job was secured before graduation or within 3 months after, 6 months, or even later, 6+ months after. It gives a much more nuanced picture than just saying they got a job.
Okay, so what did that show? Was everyone hired super fast?
Well, no. The findings showed it wasn't the case that all IT grads were hired with the same urgency. There were clear differences. Remember, those programs focus more on management and communication. The UGITM and MITM. Their grads got offers earlier. 87.6% of MITM grads and 83.4% of UGITM grads had jobs within 3 months of finishing.
Okay, high percentages. And the technical program?
The MIT program, only 78.4% found jobs within that 3-month window. And over a fifth, 21.7%, took more than 3 months.
So even comparing the programs, the ones producing more potential bridgers saw faster hiring. That's interesting.
It suggests employers were already prioritizing those integrated skills, doesn't it?
It seems so. But what about the bridger role itself, regardless of program? Were they specifically hired faster than, say, the technical specialists or the application domain specialists?
Now that's what gets really stark. The study found no support for equal urgency across the 4 job categories. IT bridgers were hired significantly earlier.
How much earlier?
Get this, 66.6%, 2/3 of IT bridgers got their jobs before they even graduated.
2/3. before graduation.
before they even walk the stage. Compare that to about 55% for technical roles and 50% for domain roles getting jobs pre-graduation.
That's a massive lead for the Bridgers.
It is. And if you look at jobs secured within 3 months after graduation, it's 88.7% for bridgers, compared to around 80% for both domain and technical specialists.
Wow. Okay, so nearly 90% of Bridgers had jobs locked down within 3 months of graduating.
Exactly. So this really raises a big question, right? Why the rush? The data strongly points to employers not just wanting IT workers, but actively prioritizing and locking down bridgers much sooner.
It signals a higher perceived value, maybe, or a more pressing strategic need?
I think so. It suggests these skills are seen as more immediately critical. A tech specialist builds the engine, maybe a domain specialist designs the car body, but the bridger makes sure it's the right car, going in the right direction, and that everyone knows how to drive it. Employers seem to be grabbing them first.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so they're valued, they're hired faster. So who are these employers? Is it across the board, or are specific industries driving this demand for bridgers? Is it just the usual high-paying tech suspects?
The study looked into that too, the industry destinations, and there was a pretty clear overall trend first. A large chunk, 70.8% of the graduates from this school, went into consulting, technology, or finance. The study calls them CTF sectors.
CTF, consulting, technology, finance. Okay, makes sense. Those are heavy IT users, high spenders.
Exactly. So it's not surprising they hire a lot of IT grads. But the interesting part is who they hired within those sectors. The study found clear distinctions. It didn't support the idea that all sectors hired equally across the job types. Within those big CTF sectors, a whopping 65.4% of their hires from this school were IT bridgers.
65% within CTF for bridgers.
Yes, 673 bridgers out of just over 1,000 hires by CTF firms from this school. That's more than double all the other IT job categories combined that CTF hired.
Wow. So those big consulting, tech, and finance firms were overwhelmingly hiring the bridgers.
Overwhelmingly, it suggests a real strategic focus. These industries rely so heavily on using tech for innovation, efficiency, competitive advantage, they seemingly can't afford not to have people who bridge that gap effectively.
And what about other industries outside of CTF?
Well, the other sectors hired far fewer bridgers proportionally. Only about 20.3% of their hires from the school were bridgers.
Okay, a big drop. So who were they hiring more of?
They hired more application domain specialists, 36.2%,
Yeah.
and technical specialists, 29.8%. So, yes, all sectors need IT talent, but the CTF giants seem laser-focused on acquiring that bridging capability. They aren't just looking for any IT grad. They're specifically targeting those with that blend of tech and business soft skills.
This paints such a clear, consistent picture. Okay, let's bring it all together. What does this actually mean for you, the listener? Whether you're just starting out, leading a team, maybe involved in education, how do you use these insights?
The so what factor.
Yeah.
Well, for aspiring IT professionals, the message seems pretty loud and clear. Yes, build strong technical foundations, but don't stop there. Actively develop your communications, your project management skills, your business understanding. That balanced skill set is what makes you a highly desirable bridger.
It's about being bilingual in a way, speaking tech and speaking business.
Exactly. That dual fluency makes you incredibly valuable, especially to those CTF sectors. So look for roles or projects where you can practice both.
Okay. And for employers or team leaders?
Recognize the strategic importance here. These bridgers aren't just helpful. They're potentially critical for making sure your tech investments actually pay off and align with business goals, especially if you're in those high IT spending sectors like consulting, tech, finance. Finding and keeping good bridgers should probably be a top priority. They're the ones ensuring the tech strategy connects to the business reality.
Makes sense. Don't underestimate that connecting role. And finally, for educators.
The data is a strong signal, isn't it? There's a clear need for IT programs that intentionally cultivate this blend of KSAs. Focusing only on deep technical skills might not be setting up graduates for the biggest slice of the market, or maybe the roles with the highest initial demand.
So it's about designing programs that reflect this proven industry need for translators and connectors.
Precisely. Meeting that demand is key to preparing students for success.
So this deep dive really hammers it home. The IT bridger isn't just some fuzzy concept. It's a real, in-demand, highly valued role. They're hired earlier, especially by major players in CTF sectors. It really shows that even as tech gets more complex, that human ability to connect, translate, integrate, that remains incredibly valuable.
Yeah, we've seen how this role is firmly established, highly valued. The industry preferences are clear. The hiring urgency is clear. It all points to their strategic importance.
This brings up a really interesting, almost a chicken or the egg question that the study touches on. Did the need for these bridgers within complex companies, especially in CTF, drive them to seek out schools that happen to be producing grads with these skills? Or did the schools, by proactively offering programs that built these bridging skills, essentially create a supply that then attracted these employers who maybe only then fully realized how much they needed them?
It's a fascinating question about coevolution, right? Between industry demand and educational supply.
And what happens if universities do shift their focus dramatically, say, everyone suddenly pivots to pure AI specialization? Could that leave employers who've come to depend on this pipeline of bridgers in a difficult spot?
It definitely highlights the dynamic interplay. Technology changes, business needs change, education adapts, or maybe leads. It's this constant dance.
It really is something to keep thinking about. That ongoing connection between tech evolution, business strategy, education, and ultimately the skills we all need. So reflecting on all this, what skills will you prioritize? Definitely some food for thought until our next deep dive.